the human race, we're quite lousy at reading exponential change. We always get surprised by the pace of actual change, and it's not easy to read. So it does surprise us when things take off exponentially. And the only way to kind of, appreciate it, and the only way to kind of keep with it is to continually learn.
How's it, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Exponential Africa, where we explore the transformative power of exponential technologies that are shaping our continent and the world. And today we delve into the future of artificial intelligence in the workplace. And we've been discussing a lot of different areas of artificial intelligence over the last couple of weeks, from AI in leadership to ethics. And we really need to think about AI as not just a tool of automation. It's this powerful ally in building a better, more efficient and innovative future. And while some fear that AI will replace jobs, we see it as a massive opportunity to enhance and create new cooperative roles that will drive progress and prosperity. And today we are lucky to have Dhesen Ramsamy join us, who has joined Old Mutual as Chief Technology Officer in late 2023. He's recently been appointed as the Chief Technology and Data Officer, leading AI and strategy for the group. He really has a big focus on digital transformation, technology strategy and innovation, and this future state in architecture and data as disciplines. So without further ado, let me welcome Dhesen to the show. Dhesen, how are you doing?
How's it, Mick? Good to be here. I'm good, thanks.
So Dhesen, you've had quite an amazing career already, and can you just start by sharing a bit about your journey into the world of technology and AI, and sort of what sparked your interest into the space and how your career's evolved over time?
Yeah, thanks for that. So my background's engineering, so in some ways always been a technologist. But I've also been very fortunate in that, some of the career choices I made and some of the areas I've chose to apply my discipline have opened up these avenues. So, I won't claim some mad foresight or anything like that. I've always been enamored by the possibilities that technology brings. I started off my career in Unilever as a chemical engineer, and applying myself to category research and development, and how technology there assisted us in designing great products and for Unilever clients. I joined financial services shortly thereafter, and applied myself in product design, digitization. Then that took me into the data world, into core technologies. And now, very recently, like everybody else, I'm not going to claim that I have 10 years of depth in AI. And I guess, that is one of my bugbears, this cottage industry of suddenly, that's appearing of Gen AI experts, when really speaking, Gen AI has been in the mainstream 2 years or so. I think what keeps me intrigued is first the pace, just to, I think it was in 2020, right? I'll use this anecdote. In 2020, in the organization I was in then, my boss just asked me to peruse this book. It was Competing in the Age of AI. That was the title. It was quoting these industry luminaries, and Satya Nadella, and it's only 2020, by the way, so 4 years ago, what seems like 4 very long years ago, he was saying, AI will soon replace or become the runtime of every organization. Right, that was in 2020, and very recently, Satya Nadella and other industry luminaries are talking about AI in a very different way. The way they're phrasing it now is the world is becoming a prompt, right? And so I think just to unpack that a bit, we started to see then that AI, in these AI firms, there would be almost no workers in the critical part of the value-adding activities, and it wasn't even so futuristic or prescient then, because there were already companies around the world that were applying it in that way, and financial services, Ping An technology. Ping An, One Connect being their technology arm, their strategic partner of ours. They were already in that space. and lots of born to this era kind of fintechs and insurtechs are applying it in that way, and that way is really about changing a big, well, actually not changing, but bringing operational efficiencies uh, to bear. This whole conception now of the world's becoming a prompt is a very different thing. It's beyond operational efficiencies. It's actually around, could this be the way we interact with everything? Could it become the new interface, replacing maybe apps? And I think that's what's fundamentally exciting to me. That in 4 years, it's gone from kind of deeper down in the technology stack or in processes. Now it is the interface. So like it's very hard not to be excited about the possibilities that it brings. So yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's
No,
how I
I
answer.
totally agree with you, and I love that. I think that's such a poignant point. Is that it's very it's very slow, and then it's sudden. It kicks off and it hits the knee of the curve and it takes off. And for singularity, Ray
That's
Kurzweil predicted this in 1998. He made these predictions in 1998, and then when you see it happening, I was at a talk with him recently where he said, even though he predicted all of this technology and this AR, he still gets surprised at the pace. And when you can actually use the technology now, it's the surprise and delight is just incredible, and it's going to keep continuing, and accelerating over this coming time. And I just wanted to ask you, so go for it.
No, that is like a great point. The thing you spoke of being the speed, right? One of the like I follow a couple of futurologists, not futurists, because I think futurists sometimes they make the claim that they know what's coming. Futurologists apply themselves to how to study the future and how to almost think about the future. They never claim they know what's coming, right? So one of the guys
Yes.
I read a lot is Magnus First, and he says when you think about these things, amateurs shall inherit the earth, not people who think they know what's coming, right? So I think the way I view these things is you always got to be on this learning curve. And why that's important is like many of these writers like Ray Kurzweil and the guys we always reference when we speak about the possibility of technology. They say that the human race, we're quite lousy at reading exponential change. We always get surprised by the pace of actual change, and it's not easy to read. So it does surprise us when things take off exponentially, and the only way to kind of appreciate it, and the only way to kind of keep with it is to continually learn, right? Never believe you have the answers and continually trial. And I guess personally, and the organization or mutual that I belong to, or the organization where I get to apply my skills, my growing skills, because again I'm an amateur technologist, is that we continue to learn. It's a learning organization. So I love the way you put that too. It's just taking off at a way and in directions we don't know.
And I mean, I think just on that, that's a perfect segue into, Old Mutual is this very large organization, and they employ thousands and thousands of people, and there's a lot of talk around, is AI going to take my jobs, and what are we going to do? Is it going to replace my job? Is it going to enhance my job? And from your perspective, how are you seeing AI transforming these traditional roles? And what new opportunities are we creating in the workplace with AI? Are we going to be secure in our jobs, and how are we going to scale and create more using AI?
Yeah. So look, I think it's a hyper critical like area, right? The implications of the technology, and it's actually a lot more pressing for us in South Africa, where there's a very high unemployment rate, a very high youth unemployment rate, and almost this we're still getting to a point where we can produce STEM graduates and people with skills at a clip that makes us globally competitive. And I don't think I'm sharing anything new there, right? So the way we apply the technology and the impacts for our workforce are like important. And so as a mutual, that is front and center with our thinking. Um, So we've recently returned from a kind of a learning tour from China, and we spent a lot of time with our partners there, Ping An. And like the things you see there, you start to appreciate that this is not the future, it's here, right? So like it's not like the technology is waiting for us to believe in it, it's here. We what I saw in a Ping An call center is a data engineer training their homegrown LLM whilst listening to their bot guiding like 4 customers through a sales process. He was training the
Wow.
bot for deployment that evening. So that evening, when they trained their LLM, that deployment would have gone in, right? I think the first thing to point out is that with this comes a whole new set of roles. So in our space in particular, the us being able to grow people with the aptitude or the the academic background to become AI engineers, AI architects, people with NLP, natural language processing, or that sort of skill. And the first thing to talk about is, yes, there will be growth in a few new roles. Prompt engineering, which is, I guess, only 2-3 years old as a discipline, we're starting to see the need for that, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is not to underplay the fact that, yes, technologies over the years have affected opportunities for traditional workers. So how do we retrain our workforce to use these technologists, and how do we plan for this world where some roles might over time kind of go away? Now, this is like the way we think about it is sometimes we think unskilled people will be at the sharp end of this. The truth is, if everything we see around Gen AI affecting the software development life cycle, if everything we see there comes to pass, then even coders, even people who've trained as developers, their roles might be impacted. Could we position them and redirect them to more high value parts of the SDLC or the life cycle or the development life cycle? That's an option, right? Again, not theoretical. We saw that that's what Ping An is doing. Their sales force is being trained to work alongside bots, and that's a very nice kind of area where it's the machine alongside, human in the loop type thinking. So we're seeing that play out too. So yes, with every new technology and the advent of every new technology, I mean, I guess this is a lot more pervasive than some of the technologies we've seen recently. There's always this fear, but then it's incumbent on us, and it's our responsibility also to help the workforce adopt these tools, so that they're ready for this future. I don't have a crystal ball around the potential impacts for the South Africa's workforce, but these things are top of mind for us.
Yeah, I think it started off that AI is going to automate a lot of these repetitive and mundane tasks, and now it's actually assisting us with our roles in ways we never thought of. It's enhancing our ability in our capacity in the job title. And Imad Mustak, who we've got coming to the Singularity Summit in October, he says, it's not going to be AI that takes your jobs. It's going to be the humans using AI that are going to take your jobs, because we need to couple with this AI, and we need to really let it enhance our intelligence and our capabilities, so we can do a lot more, and we can actually enhance productivity and enhance our marketplaces with new customers that we wouldn't have the capacity to service before. So it actually stimulate the economies immensely through this new AI tools.
And like for much of our workforce, it would not just is underplaying it. I think it would fundamentally improve our productivity. There's this viral meme going around now, like, I don't want AI to tackle art and the creative stuff so that I can do my laundry. I want AI to do my laundry so I can apply myself to more creative stuff. I mean, I'm paraphrasing and I'm doing a terrible job at it. but it's to this point, right, that alongside the machine, we can suddenly apply ourselves to maybe more high order things.
Yeah, and I mean, like maybe we could just touch on some real world examples where you're seeing this. Are you seeing this in healthcare or customer service or manufacturing? Like you said, the guys in China are actually using it in their call centers already. Have you seen it in other industries yet?
Yeah, so in the healthcare, also actually, I'll bring it closer to what we do as well, right? We're seeing a lot of progress in better medical underwriting outcomes using technology, right? So the first is, sometimes the underwriting process for like life insurance or medical underwriting can be it can be uncomfortable to some individuals. It can be invasive. There's always this kind of this white coat phenomenon, like having a nurse put a cuff on your arm means your blood pressure is already going to go up. What we saw is that the use of technologies that are kind of remote. So we saw in China, and it's not something we haven't seen anywhere else, but we've seen these remote stations where you go in, you put your arm in to this machine, the cuff comes on, so the underwriting process works like that. Then
Wow.
it takes other variables. It takes the region that you're in. It takes other kind of bio data, and it marries that with the actual medical data, using their models that have been trained on, like Ping An, for instance, has 232 million clients. So at a scale like that, you're able to train models a lot better than we could here. But using things like that, suddenly AI in the underwriting process, you get a better outcome for the clients, and obviously by extension, we get a better outcome as a business. So I'm seeing it applied there, and it's not just as physically invasive as putting your arm in the cuff at a remote medical station, but also we're seeing retinal scanning being used for things like HRV, for early indications of blood pressure issues for customers. And so the technology is definitely being applied a lot better in the medical sciences. Then, if I had to look kind of closer to us, it's not just the call centers. So look at the underwriting process. Look at the claims process for vehicle loss or accident claims and things like that. Computer vision together with AI modeling means you don't drive in anywhere, right? So you use your phone, you take a picture of the affected area of your car. Computer vision helps you to determine the extent of the damage, right? And so those two technologies coupled, and the models let you know whether, yes, I do need to see a physical assessor, or no, I can process my claim just using my mobile phone, and I can take my car in for repairs. So it's like there's myriad applications, and like I really think it goes to a better client experience, a better business outcome as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, as for people watching us that are in roles in organizations and at various levels, what skills are essential to sort of thrive in this AI enhanced job market? How can these individuals prepare for this massive shift, this paradigm shift that's already underway and it's just accelerating?
So, I'm going to come back to, I think where the technology is going, I don't believe like this traditional thinking of, we have to produce necessarily STEM graduates who can benefit from the technology. I find certainly in software development, a lot of classically trained developers come in with, maybe a bit more, sometimes a more limited thinking in how to go about what they do. I think it starts. So I'll start with a set of behaviors, and yes, of course, the traditional skills like data engineering and data practitioners are necessary for you to take advantage of some of the benefits. But I think the behaviors start with like just being curious enough to try to understand how could this make me more productive in what I do. So designers are using a lot more. We're finding the use of Gen AI for production of better outcomes in direct marketing campaigns. So this is beyond people applying themselves to traditional advanced analytics, machine learning, and AI. Gen AI has taken us into this world where, should you have an application for a generative outcome from the science, then you can apply it. So again, creatives are using it. We find copywriters are using it. We find that it's making us a lot better at writing documents. I don't know if you ever use that score, the word processing score that Copilot 365 has, but it's fundamentally made me better at writing documents as well.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, the curiosity, the courage to try and learn alongside the application of the technology. I think those are the behaviors, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually at a dinner last night, and I asked the group. It was about 25 people. I said, "Who here is not using AI in their roles?" Because it was a very diverse group of people, and every single person there is using AI in their role or in their certain job type. And I think I think what you said is exactly right. Is you have to be curious and you have to start utilizing this AI in your role, no matter what you do. I mean, the other implications and the other exciting things I think that will be coming is, this idea of having our AI clones that are trained on all of our own data that can actually do some of our work for us while we're sleeping, or so like I've got a friend, he's made a clone of himself on Instagram. And the other night he went to sleep, and his clone had all the information needed for his audience to give them, when they asked him the questions, it would answer and give all these different points and give them tasks. He woke up and he had helped 600 people while he was sleeping. Do this task. All signed up to his other program and everything, and he made it helped him really get new users and onboard new people while he was sleeping, and they all thought it was him.
Wow, that is amazing. I think I'd be very anxious using that the first time, so I definitely would not go to bed. But I would certainly observe the outcome. But yeah, that is fundamentally it is. I mean, that's game changing stuff. And again, it is not the future, like you just described. The guy has done it. So if I'm anxious about one thing, it is about this this outlook that says it's a technology still to be proven. I think we need to be a lot more open to the fact that it's already changing the game in beyond financial services. So that is my fear. In the cyber domain. So if I look at the traditional disciplines that I oversee or apply myself to across the software development lifecycle, yes. But in the cyber domain, game-changing analysis from threat detection and things like that. So it is probably the most pervasive thing. The ability for the technology to maybe get a better advice outcome in financial services. So there too, and financial services were probably a front runner, but with Ping An, we also saw that the quality of advice with AI applied to a traditional advisor, so working alongside the advisor, just bringing in more data, making for a richer conversation. So that is like how we're thinking about it, right? We're thinking about worker productivity, right? So almost a worker, a 365 or a co-pilot, right? Then and that I mean by that I mean how does it help you wrap up your meetings? How does it help you produce better documents? Maybe spreadsheet analysis, maybe put together better presentations. Then we're looking at it. How does it help in the financial advice domain? How does it help our sales and service agents? So in each of the domains, and then how does it help? So AI for technologists. How does it make us better technologists? So like we're thinking about these buckets as we go along.
Wow, yeah, it's such an exciting space, and I think it's clear that it's really taking off. Just before we close out, where can people find you, or if they want to follow your journey, or reach out to you? How do people get hold of you?
So yeah, you can. I am not amazing at social media. I think I'm as active as I
Being a
try. I try to.
technologist.
Yeah, I try to be active on LinkedIn. I'm more enamored by the outcomes of social media than being a practitioner or testing it out myself. But I'll put my LinkedIn on your comms, and then please, yeah, just follow All Mutual Limited, because the one thing we're doing is we're constantly on the hunt for technologists, for people who are also like us, enamored by the possibilities. Or Mutual, is a very tech-forward organization. Across our investments in cloud, we're probably the most aggressive user of the technology. We across our investments in the data domain, in our people and their upskilling and training. I really want to encourage anyone who wants to pursue a career that, All Mutual is probably the place to be right now, if you look across the financial services domain. So please follow us. And I'm the least interesting person in All Mutual to follow, but if you need to, I'll put my LinkedIn.
Well, thanks so much, Dhesen. I think what you're doing at Old Mutual is just incredible, and we are so grateful and honored to be partnering with Old Mutual for the Singularity South Africa Summit coming on the 20th to the 22nd of October. And I just want to say, thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights with us today. It's really clear that AI has this potential not only to transform the workplace, but also enhance our lives in these countless ways. And as we embrace these advancements, it's crucial to focus on these opportunities and benefits that AI brings, ensuring that we build a future where technology and humanity thrive together. So stay tuned for more episodes of Exponential Africa. We hope to see you all at the Singularity South Africa Summit, and let's continue to explore the frontiers of innovation and progress. Thanks, and keep smiling, and make sure to subscribe. Cheers.